Hey, Sam, before we adjourn the work session, I wonder if you could share with the committee what we've got left for a workload.
Absolutely. Yeah, I can. I have most of that information ready to go. So.
We're live.
How many do we have? Darlene?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We got 9.
Okay, good. Well, good afternoon, everybody. Nice to see you all. Thank you for being with us. I do want to thank Chair Danny Martin for filling in for me in my unexpected absence while I journeyed through the Judiciary Committee for 2 or 3 hours. That was an experience, and I appreciate that committee, all they did, but it did take a lot of time. So thank you very much, Danny, and also for Senator Brad Farron for filling in as he has in the past so capably when House Chair Dan Martin was occupied doing his thing. So thank you both very much for your work and filling in. This is a work session for the Committee on Transportation, and the purpose of the work session is, unlike a public hearing, is for the committee to discuss the various bills that are before us, then make a decision on how to proceed with those bills. It's not a public hearing. It's, again, primarily for the committee itself to do that work. As you know, this is live streamed on a YouTube channel for the committee, and it's Zoom, and it's so when you're on the meeting, your mic is on. You're on around the world, and so as you should be, and we appreciate all your work there. I would also like to introduce the members of our committee, and then we'll talk about the order of the day. And Representative Seabra had to be away today, so we'll start with Representative O'Connell. Good afternoon, Representative O'Connell.
Thank you very much, Senator. My name is Kevin O'Connell. I've got District 128, probably 98.35% approved.
Excellent. Also want to welcome Representative Tom Martin.
He's not here yet. I'm going to send him a new invite.
Still thawing pipes, maybe.
No, he's having issues getting on.
Okay. Representative Bruce White. No?
Hi, thank you, Senator Diamond.
Yes.
Sorry
okay.
about that pause there, getting my volume on there, but thank you. Yes, I'm Representative Bruce White from Waterville District 109, and I represent about half of Waterville, so glad to be here.
Excellent. Thank you. Representative Mark Bryan.
Thank you, Senator. I'm Mark Bryant in Senator Diamond's district. I'm a House District 24, part of the town of Wyndham. Welcome all.
And you look very nice in your brand new haircut. Excellent. Representative Mike Perkins.
Thank you, Senator Diamond. Mike Perkins, I represent District number 77 in Oakland.
Thank you, sir. Representative Wayne Perry.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Wayne Perry. I represent House District 10, which covers Arundel, Dayton, and most of Lyman.
Thank you, sir. Representative Lynn Williams.
Thank you, Senator. I'm Lynn Williams. I represent District 135, which is the towns of Bar Harbor, Mount Desert, and Lemoyne.
Thank you. Representative Dustin White.
Not available.
Not available. Senator Ben Chipman.
Not available.
Senator Brad Farron.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair. My name is Brad Farron. I live in Norridgewock, and I have the distinct pleasure to represent the majority of Somerset County and the town of Rome and Kennebec County in the Maine State Senate.
Thank you, sir. And House Chair, Representative Danny Martin.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Danny Martin, representing House 150, located in northern Worcester County.
Thank you, sir. And I'm Bill Diamond, represent Senate District 26. I live in Wyndham. We also want to introduce our fabulous staff that's with us, Sam Prower and Julia McDonald, an analyst, and then Darlene Semino, of course, is our committee clerk who keeps things going. In terms of the order of today, what we want to share with you, we're going to start with LD 410, followed by LD 1796, followed by LD 1843, Following the 1843 work session, we'll hear a brief presentation from Kathy Curtis and others from Bureau of Motor Vehicle regarding the new CDL regulations. It'll be brief, but it's important that I wanted to make sure, Danny and I wanted to make sure the committee was aware of these changes that are going to be taking place, I'm told, on February 7th, so it may impact some people. I wanted you to at least have a background on what that's all about. So it won't take long, but I think it's important for you to have some basic information and know where to go if other questions come from constituents. So that's our layout today. House Chair Martin, anything else we should touch on?
No, very, very well done, Mr. Chair. I think we're all set.
Excellent. So we will now open the work session on LD 410, which is an act to provide funding for the reconstruction of Route 161 from Fort Kent to Caribou, presented by Representative Martin of Eagle Lake. And I know Representative Martin of Sinclair want to just make a couple explanations on where we'll be heading with this bill.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Chair and members of the committee. As you know, during the public hearing, this piece of legislation was obviously supported by the sponsor, Representative John Martin of Eagle Lake, and our good Senate President Troy Jackson, and opposed by the department. If you read the piece of legislation very carefully, this bill would have provided a one-time general fund appropriation of $40 million during next fiscal year to the Department of Transportation for reconstruction on 161 from Fort Kent to Caribou. In full disclosure, 161 also spans across my House district. The reconstruction project from Cross Lake to Caribou has been completed, Mr. Chair. And it's my understanding that in the department's 3-year plan, that engineering work is going to be done from the Cross Lake area to Fort Kent. I'm not sure if this piece of legislation had a drafting error, but it's very obvious to us that we are not going to be receiving $40 million from the general fund towards transportation. With that in mind, Mr. Chair, unfortunately, I would move ought not to pass on LD 410.
Motion is made, ought not to
Second.
pass, and it's been seconded. Discussion from the members of the committee. Yes, Senator Chipman.
Great, thank you, Senator Diamond and Representative Martin. Do you know if this is going to be done through the general highway fund or budget of the department anyway? Is there a plan for this road to get reconstructed in some other fashion?
If you review the department's 3-year plan, within the next 3 years, engineering work is going to be occurring from Cross Lake to Fort Kent on Route 161. As far as when the actual reconstruction were to take place, that is not known at this time.
Okay, but they're going to start the process, I guess, of
According to the 3-year plan, that's correct.
Excellent, thank you.
Thank you. Other questions from the committee? Seeing none. Representative Martin, your hand is that a residual hand or you?
I apologize.
No problem. All right, so seeing no more questions from the committee, the motion has been made and seconded, ought not to pass. Darlene, we'll go to you.
Senator Diamond,
Yes.
Representative Danny Martin,
Yes.
Senator Farren,
Yes.
Representative Perkins,
Yes.
Representative Perry,
Yes.
Representative Williams,
Yes.
Representative Dustin White, absent,
Like no one's gonna show, not even in.
and Senator Chipman,
Yes,
Representative Bryant,
Yes.
Representative Bruce White,
Yes.
Representative Tom Martin,
Yes.
Representative O'Connell,
Affirmative.
and Representative Seaver is absent, so it's 11 in favor and 0 in the negative.
Motion
Two
ought
absent.
to pass prevails, 11 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative. And so we will close the work session on that LD 410. We'll now open up the work session on LD 1796, an act to coordinate marine port development presented by Representative Martin of Sinclair. I think Representative Martin, if you want us to go right to the analysts, we can do that if you're, unless you wanted to make any comments prior.
I just wanted to share with the committee, in your absence, Mr. Chair, during the public hearing, the commissioner is the one that testified on this piece of legislation. And he also presented to the committee an amendment. One committee member, Representative Seabra, had concerns with the language in the amendment. And it's my understanding that Representative Seabra has in fact communicated with the commissioner and that we should be all set on whatever the commissioner or the department or Sam it will be presenting to us. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Martin. Yes, and Representative Seabra also sent me a text this morning saying that he had worked with the commissioner, his issue had been worked out. So as far as he's concerned, he's all set with that. So would you like to have Julia take us through the amendment? Or because of the hearing, is everybody okay with that? I'll tell you what, Julia, why don't you just give us a brief summary of the amendment, just so that we make sure that we, in case a question might come up.
The summary that was sent to me yesterday or the proposed amendment that was sent to me by Megan yesterday made a very small change. And that was included to clarify what related multimodal infrastructure was. It added that directly supports marine ports, and that was meant to hone in the definition.
And that was the extent.
That was the only change that was made throughout from the amendment that had already been proposed amendment that had already been provided. Chair Diamond.
Thank you, Julia. Questions from the committee? Representative Martin.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. I wonder if we could have the commissioner or someone from DOT ensure us that everybody's on board from their perspective.
We sure can. Do we have somebody waiting in the wings?
Nina's coming.
All right, very good.
But if we could get that meeting.
Whoops.
Nope, there she is.
Good afternoon, Senator Diamond, Representative Martin. I apologize. I don't know if you called on me while I was transitioning in. Okay.
We called on you like 15 minutes ago, but thank you.
Sorry.
No, I'm just kidding. Welcome, Nina. We hadn't seen you at all this year, so at least I haven't. So it's nice.
I know. No, it's nice to see you all as well. It's my first time before the committee and may actually be my last. It definitely is a short session on our end. Yes, we are very happy with that. That was the intent of the legislation, was to really focus the role of the Port Authority on ports and associate the multimodal infrastructure around the ports. So Representative Seabra's suggestion at kind of narrowing that focus a little bit was endorsed by the board and certainly endorsed by the department, and we're happy with the amendment as it is.
Well, thank you. Are there questions of Ms. Fisher from the committee? Anyone have a question? Yes, Representative O'Connell.
I apologize. This doesn't have to do with what we're talking about, but.
Is it our plow truck?
No, it wasn't, no. But your Uncle Keith wants you to stop by the next time you come up through.
I
told
sure
him I
will.
would tell you when I see you.
Message delivered.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other personal messages for Deputy?
It's so good to see you all. It's been too long.
Anybody else have any questions of Nina or of department? Seeing none, thank you very much. We appreciate you joining us. I think we're ready for a motion, if somebody would like to so proceed.
I'll make a motion to pass.
Senator.
Make a motion ought to pass as amended.
Seconded.
Motion made ought to pass and seconded. Discussion on the motion, on the bill, or on the amendment? Seeing none, Darlene, we'll go to you.
Senator Diamond,
Yes.
Representative Danny Martin,
Yes.
Senator Farren,
Yes.
Representative Perkins,
Yes.
Representative Perry,
Yes.
Representative Williams,
Yes.
Representative Dustin White is absent. Senator Chipman,
Yes.
Representative Bryant,
Yes.
Representative Bruce White,
Yes.
Representative Tom Martin,
Yes.
Representative O'Connell,
Yes.
11 in the affirmative and 2 absent.
The motion ought to pass as amended prevails, 11 in favor, 0 in opposition. So we'll close the work session on LD 1796. The third and last bill of the day is LD 1843, an act to allow the Secretary of State to use electronic lien titling program for the purposes of the Maine Motor Vehicles Certificate of Title and Anti-Theft Act. And that was presented by Representative Perkins. And so Sam, you want to give us a little update on this and where we have, I think we have an amendment as well.
Absolutely. So as the committee will remember, we initially had a work session on this bill on January 20th. And the bill was tabled in order, and the committee requested that the department bring back a proposed language for an amendment to the bill. I can pull that up for you if you'd like and walk you through what the department has provided us. And I also, I know that Kathy Curtis is in the room too and may want to present to you where the department was coming from with this amendment proposal. So whatever you'd like to do first.
Why don't you make the presentation, an update of the amendment, and then we'll call Kathy Curtis in if we need to. I'm sure we will. Thank you.
Understood. Okay. So just give me a second to share my screen. All right. Can everybody see this fine?
All set here.
Okay. So this is the language for the department's proposed amendment to LD 1843. And the changes to the original bill are highlighted in yellow. And so as you'll see, the amendment keeps the original definition of electronic lien titling program, and it clarifies a few aspects. So first, it clarifies that while the Secretary of State may use an electronic lien titling program, it may not require the use of the electronic lien titling program.
Oops. Somebody's, okay. Sorry.
Does anyone need me to repeat that part?
Why don't you? Because we had somebody was ringing their phone at the same time.
Sure. So the first thing the amendment does is it clarifies that while the Secretary of State may use an electronic lien titling program, they may not require it. So this is just to clarify, I think, what was the original intent of the bill, that the program itself be optional. And then it provides a few clarifications on what would happen or what's allowed when an electronic lien titling program is being used. So the first thing we did, and I brought this up in my original bill analysis, is that I added a subsection to just clarify what the chapter means by mail, delivery, or surrender. And so we say that when using an electronic lien titling program, any requirement to mail, deliver, or surrender a certificate of title under this chapter may be satisfied by using the electronic lien titling program to provide an electronic record. And that's just kind of, it's essentially adding a definition for the purpose of using this program. So you don't have to go through and change every instance of the chapter where it says mail or deliver or surrender. So this was mostly just a functional update to make sure the statute was consistent with the use of an electronic lien titling program. The second part is just about notification or updates of that a lien holder has to provide if they're using the electronic lien titling program. And then the third is just, and this was an addition that also came in after the initial work session, was a clarification that a lien holder may still request a paper copy of a certificate of title if they're using the electronic lien titling program. And then finally, Section 3 of the bill, even though it looks like a big paragraph, this is also something I mentioned in my original bill analysis. And what this is it's just an unallocated section of law directing the Secretary of State to do a review of basically what the department is going to need in implementing an electronic lien titling program, and also a review of Title 29A, and report back to this committee no later than January 1st of next year with any changes or updates that they see are going to be made to the title in the future. So this is just basically like a make sure everything's buttoned up provision.
Thanks, Sam. Just as a clarification for those who may be wondering, unallocated is something that's used a lot in our state budget when we put it together or when it's been put together. And it's just not a part of the underlying changes, permanency of the statutes. And so it's just in this case, it's a direction. And as Sam says, it kind of buttons it up. Questions of Sam? Why don't we bring, Darlene, why don't we bring Kathy Curtis in, a Deputy Secretary of State, in case the committee might have some questions. Thanks, Sam.
I also have the Secretary of State. Do you want me to bring her in too?
Sure. Representative White, did you have a question while we're waiting? Bruce White?
Yeah, sorry I didn't maybe ask Sam this or whoever it might be. Was there anyone opposed to this during the public hearing? I don't remember anybody being opposed, but I was just curious.
Since I missed that, Sam, did we have opposition?
I don't have any noted, but let me pull up the quickly the testimony from the public hearing, and I can tell you for sure. It'll just take me.
Sure. You're fine. We're way ahead of schedule today. We're doing great.
I didn't think so, but I wanted to confirm it, you know, with
Yep. No, it's a good question.
I'm looking right now at the registrants from the public hearing, and I do not see anyone registered as speaking against this bill.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Madam Secretary and Deputy Secretary, welcome. Thank you for being with us. Are there any comments either of you would like to make to the committee on this amendment and bill in general?
Good afternoon, Senator Diamond, and members of the committee. It's great to see you again this afternoon. We really appreciate that Sam worked with us to develop that amendment. And we also thought it might be helpful to give you a little context about the electronic lien title program. There were some questions during the public hearing. So let me walk you through the current process. When a person finances a vehicle, a title application is completed and sent to the Bureau of Motor Vehicles. We review the application and the supporting documents. Then we print a paper title and physically mail it to the lien holder. They hold the paper title until the lien is paid off. Then they sign it and release the lien and send it to the vehicle owner. Or if they have financed the vehicle, if there's been a payoff, they send it to the lien holder. That's fairly straightforward, except for a lot of the lien holders today don't want to hold that paper and track that paper. And in some cases, these large banks from out of state actually send titles from every state to one holding location. What that means is when they pay off, when a lien is paid off, that bank has to go find that title, have it mailed, release the lien, have it mailed to maybe a central location, and then they mail it to either the owner or the dealer that paid off the vehicle. During that time, the bank is retrieving that title, signing it off, mailing it. If the vehicle's been traded in, that dealer's sitting on that vehicle and they can't sell it. And that's where you're hearing a lot of complaints. I think that's where that's where it frustrates the dealer. So we're trying to take the first step in solving that problem with electronic lien and title. Let me explain how that would work. So the Bureau of Motor Vehicles will develop standards and requirements for electronic lien service providers to connect to the Bureau of Motor Vehicles computer system. Then lien holders will contract with a service provider and registered with BMV as an electronic lien title holder. Now, when we receive a title application with a registered lien holder listed, we'll review the application and the supporting documents. But instead of printing that title, we'll send an electronic message to the lien holder through the service provider, indicating that the title was created, sending them the data that's on the title, and confirming that their lien has been validated. Now, when the lien is paid off, the lender sends BMV through the service provider an electronic message that says the lien's paid off. At that point, a title will be printed and either sent to the owner or the dealer, right here from the state of Maine. The dealer doesn't have to wait several weeks to obtain that paper title through the mail from the lien holder. So that's the first step in electronic titling, and that's what we're asking you to approve today in LD 1843. There are going to be additional steps in the future that we're going to build upon on this foundation. And we expect that in the future that we won't even actually print the title and get it to the dealer mail it to the dealer. We'll maintain that record here at the Bureau of Motor Vehicles and transfer that to the dealer all online. But that's our second phase. And we hope that by starting with this first phase, we will be able to build a solid foundation and be able to really implement a full electronic titling program going forward.
So Deputy Curtis, the problem right now or has been the backlog, although I think you folks have done a great job of working on that, but the backlog has been because of those various transitions from one to the other one. When a vehicle is purchased and then it goes to the lien holder, and then when it's paid off, it goes back and forth. And if a dealer is involved, that's another piece of the action. Hence the backlog you have. Yes?
The backlog is really, from a dealer's perspective, the backlog is caused by two components. First, it's this title going back and forth through the mail. But also the second part was on us when we were not able to process title applications as quickly as we should have been able to. There are many reasons for that, but we have completely eliminated our physical backlog that we had in our office.
Excellent. Questions from the committee? Representative Perry.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I brought this up before. I really don't have an issue with doing this. I think, it's part of the future to a point. I'm still kind of old school. I still concerned about security with hacking and everything else. All of a sudden, all these paid off loans and titles are in somebody else's name, not the actual owner. I get nervous with us turning everything over to the computers, even though pretty much we've done that today. And I really hope that, we've got a lot of security and a lot of backup so that, I don't wake up someday after paying off a $50,000 vehicle and find out it's not mine.
We are absolutely as concerned about that security as you are. And we have tremendous amount of security built into our system today. When we connect to these service providers, we will require that they meet the highest level security standards when they are communicating with us. Everything that we can possibly do to make the system secure, we will do that. We'll meet the highest standards.
Yeah, thank you for that. I'm just looking at, as we move forward with this, is to build in some type of protection in case something happens. The consumer tends to be the one that gets left out in the cold, and dealers are fine, banks are fine, and it's the consumer that gets left out in the cold. So as we move forward with this, we need to make sure that never happens.
Absolutely. We are very focused on consumer protection here. We have an entire, our enforcement division is very focused on consumer protection. We take that very seriously. We know that the ownership of these vehicles is in our protection, and we make sure that we do everything we can to protect that ownership.
Thank you. Thank you, Representative Perry. I think that's something we all are concerned about, but it's nice to hear that you all are on top of that as well. Representative Bryant, did you have a question?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. If I could sort of out of order, last time Deputy Curtis was before us and before one of my bills, I just want to say the moderation she did to bring consensus among the diverse groups was amazing. And I think I want to say that in front of the Madam Secretary, as she well knows. But thank you for allowing me to say that.
Thank you.
Very nice. Other Other questions of, yes, Representative Bruce White of Miss Curtis. Yes, Representative Bruce White.
Thank you, Senator. I don't know if this was brought up and I might have missed it, which could happen once in a while, but what's the implementation? When do you expect it to be like, first ones being able to do this? And
Sure. We've talked with other states and the service providers. They say it takes between 9 months and 12 months to put this all in place. Now, we understand that there are several states at the same point that we are, so we may have to get in line behind some of the other states, but we are trying to get in front of the line as much as possible. But I would see 9 to 12 months it will take us to fully implement.
thank you. That's understandable. It just gives people a good idea. That sounds very reasonable too. Thank you.
So this committee, the Transportation Committee in 131st would probably be the committee that would be in session when you actually get this implemented, sounds like. Yeah.
It would be nice to get it done before the end of the year.
Yes. Representative Perry, a question.
Yeah, I was just with that in mind, do the report back dates work, or do we need to adjust? They're all right? Okay.
They're great. Thank you.
Thank you. Further questions of Ms. Curtis? Madam Secretary, did you want to add comments? For the committee's purpose?
Deputy Curtis is really a national expert on this, but I just wanted to add, in terms of Representative Perry's question, a system that was put in place by Information Services at the Department of Secretary of State before I was secretary is that weekly backups of all of our systems and all of our data are sent to Iron Mountain, which is an offsite secure site for highly secure site for data of this type. So if there are also redundancies within our system and consumer protections within the system, and our director of cybersecurity is sort of at the forefront of, always on guard for emerging vulnerabilities and threats. But if there ever were something, especially on a large scale that you mentioned, Representative Perry, we would have the data from the prior week so that the rightful data could be restored. That makes sense.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Other questions of either the secretary or of the deputy secretary regarding with this bill and the amendment? Saying none, thank you. I think we're in a position for a motion. Representative Danny Martin.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. I would move ought to pass as amended on LD 1843.
Second.
Motion is made ought to pass as amended on LD 1843. There's a second. Is a discussion? Other points of discussion? Representative Senator Farren, sorry.
No worries, Mr. Chair. Excuse me, not really a discussion, but just another point of what this committee does is they work through things and comes to that consensus and work together. And as the chair of this committee and being a former Secretary of State, I was going to make some comment about asking you your opinion of how far this process has come from the slate and chisels to what we're doing now. So I think we've come a long ways.
Yeah, Senator Farren, you're absolutely right. And I was blessed with a highly competent staff, much more competent than I. And they always met this titling, which is always a challenge. They always met the titling requirements and obligations, responsibilities. And I think it's gotten so big over the years, the backlogs have happened. But it's nice to hear everything get caught up. But yes, we always arm wrestled with that, but because of the staff we had, we always seemed like come out on top for everybody. So thank you for offering that.
Senator Farren, he missed the hammer and chisel reference.
I was ignoring it politely. Thank you for that. Are there other questions from the committee? Other comments? Seeing none, I think we have a motion ought to pass as amended, and it's been seconded. Darlene, I think it's up to you.
All right, Senator Diamond,
Yes.
Representative Danny Matton,
Yes.
Senator Farren,
Yes.
Representative Perkins,
Yes.
Representative Perry,
Yes.
Representative Williams,
Yes.
Representative Dustin White is absent, Senator Chipman,
Affirmative.
Representative Bryant,
Yes.
Representative Bruce White,
Yes.
Representative Tom Matton,
Yes.
Representative O'Connell,
Yes, please.
and Representative Seaver is absent. So 11 in the affirmative and 2 absent.
The motion not to pass is amended prevails 11-0. And so we'll close the work session on LD 1843. And I would remind Representative Perry that your clock is 7 minutes fast on the wall. We're now going to go to the CDL. We have a presentation we talked about. It's going to be brief. Sam, you have something?
You can do this before or after the presentation, but I also have a bill for language review. So didn't want to forget that.
Yeah, thank you. We'll do it afterwards.
Understood.
Deputy Curtis, would you mind updating the committee on the CDL issue, the new regulations and the dates and that sort of thing? I just, House Chair and I wanted to make sure that the committee had a handle on this, or at least is aware of what's coming forward. And because I suspect all of us will be getting calls from some folks who fall in that gap after the 7th of the 7th, if I have that date correct. Deputy Kurt.
Yes, thank you, Senator Diamond. I am actually going to, our new director of driver license services, Chris Ireland, is going to give you an update. And I think the secretary would like to introduce you to him. It's the first time that he's appeared before the committee.
Oh, very nice. Well, Madam Secretary, please do that, and we will look forward to having this.
Great. And if he can be promoted as a panelist, oh, here he comes.
He's coming.
So many of you probably knew Linda Grant. She retired last summer, and we did a nationwide search for a new director of licensed services. And we were so thrilled that a recently retired brigadier general moved home to Maine and was interested in serving the state of Maine, has tremendous management experience through his career in the military, and started with us as our new director of licensed services this fall. And he has traveled around the state, gotten to know our entire team, and really dug into the issues, met with stakeholders. He is going to brief you on this new issue. It's a new federal rule. It had been delayed multiple times, but is going into effect on February 7th. It's with regards to the requirement for providers of CDL training to register with the federal government. He's the expert, and he is maybe he is the director overseeing implementation for us here in the state of Maine, and is going to walk you through what it is, what it looks like, what it will mean, and what you might hear from some of your constituents. Of course, we are always available. Every single day, we field calls from legislators, helping constituents navigate some of the aspects of the BME, and we're here. We want you to know that we're here to help. But with no further ado, we are just so fortunate to have someone with the management and leadership experience that Chris Ireland has as the Director of Licensed Services for the Bureau of Motor Vehicles. Chris.
Thank you very much. Chris, welcome. Should we address you as general, or how would you like to have us do that?
So you know what they call generals after they retire, right? There's Mr. or Chris.
Yeah.
But thank you.
Welcome. Thank you for being with us.
No, thanks. And Madam Secretary, thanks for the very generous introduction. Good afternoon. So Senator Diamond, Representative Martin, and members of the Joint Standing Committee on Transportation. My name is Chris Ireland, and I am the Director of Licensed Services here in your Bureau of Motor Vehicles. As the Secretary alluded to, I've come home. My parents hail from Wayne and Dover Foxcroft, and I'm now proud to call Pittston home for myself and my family. On behalf of the team of professionals, and let me attempt to share the screen here. Is that coming through?
Yeah, there we go. Yep, we're there.
All right, great. Thanks, sir. On behalf of the team of professionals in our driver's ed, exam scheduling, and driver examiner sections, We really want to thank you for the opportunity to present some thoughts and some information on the entry-level driver training program that has been rolled out and goes into effect on the 7th of February per the guidance from the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration. I'm mindful of your time, and of course, we all know Mother Nature's bearing down on us here outside the window. So I'm going to go through this pretty quickly. Happy to be stopped as we go, certainly as your prerogative, and then at the end, take any questions and follow up offline for anything that maybe involves a little more timely discussion. We'll give you a quick review of what the program is, how we see it impacting Mainers, because you're absolutely right, the calls are coming in and will continue to come in. Some communication, what have we done leading up to this moment to try and help as many Mainers as we can, and then a little bit of a peek into the way ahead. So a quick commercial driver's license 101, if I may, and apologies to those of you that are steeped deeper than I am in this, but thought it was worth kind of covering really quickly. We offer licensing privileges for 3 classes of vehicles, A, B, and C. Most of us are Class C drivers of our personal vehicles. The distinguishing characteristics are weight, not size or wheels or anything else. Some nominal examples in the upper right there of the type of vehicles you might find in those classes. And then on top of the classes, we also offer endorsements for specific capabilities: school bus, passenger bus, and at the bottom, hazardous materials. For an example, in the middle of the right side there, you can see a pickup truck pulling a trailer with a piece of construction equipment. That could very well put you into a commercial driving license category as well. It's driven by weight is the bottom idea. And for an entry-level driver training program, the portions of the CDL world that apply or will apply to entry-level training are Class A, Class B, the passenger bus, the school bus, and the hazardous material endorsements. How did we get here? Just a quick peek back. In 2016, Federal DOT and FMCSA announced that they were going to put this program into place with an implementation date of February 20. As they approached that, they made the determination to delay by 2 years. I think COVID was starting to inform that, and some technical connectivity issues that they hadn't ironed out yet with the states. So it did indeed roll to 7 February of 22. Along the way, in the last year before I arrived here, our team, led by Beth Kohler in our driver's ed section, did a series of public webinars and outreach efforts to the CDL community across the state to begin to beat the drum that it's coming and answer questions as they emerged. Just recently here towards the middle of December, we had a conversation within the Bureau, reached out to the Maine Motor Transport Association and started to talk with them as well in anticipation of what we figured was going to be a fair bit of confusion and maybe frustration even. What can we do to get ahead of that? So right around the holidays, yours truly pushed out an email to about 1,500 people across the state, across the CDL enterprise, businesses, drivers, you name it, to say, hey, it's coming. And we want to let you know that we are going to do our level best to get as many people through the pipe before it kicks in on the 7th of February. Please talk to us. And if you can get it to us by about the middle or third week of January, we think we can take care of you. And that's what we've been doing. And that's where we are right now. So what is this program? What is its applicability? Starting kind of up in the upper left of the slide there, the idea here is that we're going to take first-time CDL drivers, put them through additional training, both academic and practical, before we either put them into a practical exam for skills or road tests, or in the case of hazmat, allow them to take their written exam, because for hazmat, that's the only thing you do is you take a written exam. You can see there's a lot of reasons why you might not have to. If you already have a permit in your hand before the 7th of February, this program will not apply to you. If you are, as you can see in the photo there, working farm equipment on a farm in Maine, and you're not taking that equipment, beyond where you normally operate it, this program does not apply to you. If you're in a military unit and you're trained by the military, this program does not apply to you. So the government has given a fair bit of room for folks that it does not apply to, and I think done a reasonable job of explaining who it does apply to. Of note, at the bottom there, you can see this is both an intra and interstate application of this program. So it's not just for those crossing state lines. So how does this thing work? Well, bottom line, folks establish themselves as trainers, and they can be school districts, private businesses, municipalities, vocational technical schools, community colleges, you name it. They're going to bring in somebody who needs training to get into one of those categories of licensure. Once they train those individuals, they upload to a federal database that individual has completed their training. And then before that individual comes forward to BMV, or as the individual comes forward to BMV to be scheduled for those exams, we will electronically go system to system into the federal database to validate that the applicant has completed the training from an authorized trainer. At which point then we schedule them like we do any other day, and they go out on the road with our examiners like they do any other day. The interesting piece here is that the training providers are actually self-certifying to the federal government that they are complying with the elements of the program. And I'll talk a little bit more about that here in a second. So what's the scope of this for the state of Maine? You can see on the left there, historically over the last couple of years, the number of Mainers that have come forward to sit for written exams. It's not those that actually went through the practical, but that's the entry point, if you will, into the process is starting with the written, much like we all did before we got our licenses. You can see it's in the scope of thousands. The blue line is A, B, and C classes together. P represents passenger bus, gray represents school bus, and the yellow represents the hazmat category. Those are probably most of your drivers in the fuel oil industry or other transportation of hazardous materials. This program is on top of, and this is where the rub lies, on top of what it takes a normal applicant to get trained for a Class A or Class B type program. You can see nominally there, institutions across the state and across the nation are going to charge thousands of dollars to bring somebody through this program if you're just walking off the street and you want to go pay for the training. If you're a school district and you're looking to train your employees, if you're a UPS and you want to train your employees, if you are Portland Metro and you want to train employees, there's no additional cost to those people. The institutions train their employees and then certify to the federal government they've been trained in accordance with the standards. You can go online and get academic training. It's going to nominally cost you between $100 and $400 off of a casual survey I've done just on the internet if you want to get trained for the written portion. And you can see that institutions like MMTA recognize that the fiscal burden is not insignificant, and they're offering through Maine Savings Bank a interest-free loan program just as an example of how folks are trying to work around the additional costs. I think my assessment anyway is that the federal government's done a decent job of projecting information in digestible ways so that the uninformed observer like myself, who's new to this world, can look at it and get a reasonable sense of what needs to be done and who needs to do it. You know, this is just a snapshot off their website of what questions and answers exist out there that are oriented on a driver or an applicant. For the trainers, for the districts, the businesses, the municipalities, the communication I think is equally good and relatively straightforward. I think you would be surprised to know that what it takes to get registered is not an extensive submission of paperwork. And that I think the federal government is really betting on follow through, follow up, and auditing to ensure that the right people are training the right things to the right recipients. It is a self-certification process, again, in the upper right, and it is the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration that will determine whether a trainer meets the requirements or not. The state and BMV are not in the middle of that certification process. So realizing then that we had this coming at us, and we had a limited amount of time to try and influence the impacts upon Mainers, businesses, or individuals. We sat down with Maine Motor Transport right after the holidays and had a deliberate conversation. What can we do? We talked for a minute about doing some webinars. Those are only going to be as good as the people that could come find them. What we ended up doing was offering up the slide you see in the middle, and it went out both through my email, through the BMV webpage, and through Maine Motors Transport Association's webpage that fundamentally said, hey, if you can get your application into us by about the 10th of January, we can almost guarantee you a chance to sit, take your written, get that permit, and you will be exempt from ELDT come 7 February. By and large, I tell you, we have had a pretty successful swing at this. And I'll show you in a minute the number of people that have come forward that we've been able to accommodate just this week alone. And to the, right before I joined you all for this session, I can tell you that we were out there wheeling and dealing to get people into open spots as they came available, especially given the weather coming tomorrow. Just for more awareness for you, that in terms of how many training entities have registered within the system to provide that training, as of earlier this week, 107 within the state of Maine. That could be a half a dozen UPS franchises. It could be Loring Job Corps. It could be private trucking businesses, you name it. And there's a bunch of school districts in there as well. From a BMV perspective, the ones that we will end up over time having to pay deliberate attention to because of how 29A is written are those entities that are charging a fee, remuneration, or those that are offering course credit. And that's where our driver's ed program comes in to standardize, to audit, and to oversee those providers. Otherwise, the rest of them are out there, hopefully doing their level best to meet the federal standard. So on the left here, here's what I'd just like to show you, and I think this is the good news story. Just as a comparison to the normal number of written exams we schedule in the first week of any month, it fluctuates around 200. That's across the state, all classes, all branches of BMV. This week alone, per the guidance of Deputy Secretary Curtis to focus on getting as many CDL writtens done as we can, we've jammed over 830 into seats in the branches of your bureau across the state to try and give as many people the head start and not have to go through the ELTDT fiscal and time requirement. We all recognize the economic impact that this has the potential to have not only on individuals, but on the state. And we've been executing a 400% surge here to try and help as many as we can. I think the rub is in the program, if we're honest with ourselves, is will ELDT actually contribute to an increase in safety? Will it contribute to a greater success rate of those coming in for their writtens to those getting their licenses? Does it increase the economic throughput of the state and of the nation? Hard to tell. Some of those within BMV we can track and over time come back to you as you'd like to show you if there are success stories in there or not. Some of that is beyond the purview of BMV, obviously. Last, I'll just offer to you that the folks that have been jamming on this it's a 4-person team here in the exam section. We've got about 23 driver license examiners that have focused themselves, are personally reaching out to applicants to try and do our level best to get as many folks through as we possibly can. I'm exceptionally proud of them and what they've done. And I think you would be too when you get a chance to talk to them. That's all I have for you this afternoon. I'm certainly ready to take your questions. Thanks again.
Thank you very much, Director. We appreciate that. That was very informative, by the way. And also it can be an entry to further questions and as time goes on and constituents call for sure. Questions from the committee? Senator Farren.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Sorry, General, 30 years, 20, an E9. I can't call you anything but General, but welcome to the team and thank you for this presentation. I think it's going to help us with our constituents, as Senator Diamond mentioned. I also wanted to say thank you for, I've heard from some of the industry folks and your advocacy and reaching out and trying to find solutions to get out in front of this is much appreciated.
I appreciate it, Senator or Sergeant Major or Chief.
Thank you, Representative Martin.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Welcome back, Mr. Ireland, back to Maine. You might suspect that there are 3, possibly 4 veterans in this committee. So should we say go Army or go Air Force?
Sir, yeah, I expect you're going to say wherever your allegiance takes you, but I'm probably more receptive to go Air Force. I am an Army brat, though. So what does that tell you?
All right.
Cool.
Excellent.
Thank you for that. Representative Perkins.
I just want to say I had talked and already dealt with General Eiler, and I thank you. The crew has been nothing but helpful. I work as a Safe Issue 18 up here in Oakland, and we are successfully now on the list of we'll be doing the training. So, and your group of people that you work with was very helpful. Been nothing but awesome.
Yeah, Representative Perkins, I appreciate that. I know you're in the trenches of this and certainly look forward to feedback as we go. And we've got a good conduit with FMCSA, both their small office across the river in the federal building and into DC as well. So tell us how it's going. Thanks.
Thank you for that. Other questions of the director? I do want to say that this is going to be very difficult for those who do not meet the deadline, it appears, financially and otherwise. And we all appreciate, as you heard, trying to get out front as much as possible on this. I suspect we're going to hear some difficult stories from around the state of those who are unable to get there, but you really softened that blow by getting out front and being such an excellent leader on this and engaging as many as you possibly could in the time you had. So thank you for that.
Thanks, Senator Diamond. Appreciate it.
And you're welcome. So any other questions from the committee? Again, thank you very much. Madam Secretary, did you have any other comments?
No, we're really lucky to have Director Ireland on board with us, and thank you for the time so we could explain this to everyone. And if you get any constituent calls, complaints, whatever it might be, please send them my way. I just put in the chat as well. Pat Condon, our longtime Director of Constituent Services, can help you navigate, whether it's something with the CDL, which is probably some of the calls you'll get over the next couple of weeks, potentially, or whether it's titles or salvage or whatever it might be. Please reach out. We're here to help with constituent services.
So just to make that's an excellent point. So if people have constituent questions which are difficult to answer, they should contact, is it one person as opposed to anybody? How would you like to?
Yeah, so our preference, Pat Condon sort of navigates all of the constituent concerns. So she can get it to the right person. That way you don't have to remember who's in charge of what. She can help you navigate that. Her email is in the chat, and please get it to us. And whether it's Director Ireland or Chief Examiner Boyven or in titles, Valerie Grant, whomever the right person is, they will get back to you same day. Pat is monitoring that email day and night, and I think we've been helping several members of the committee even over the last couple of months. Representative Bruce White sent a really nice email to me earlier this week about how Pat had helped him navigate with the titles team to get some titles issues.
Is there an appropriate telephone number that also along with the email?
Yeah, so 626-8400 comes right here to Nash School. Our team answers it. We always answer the phone. We pride ourselves on that, and we'll get you helped right away.
Thank you. Other questions from the committee regarding all of this? I see none. Thank you again for you and Deputy Curtis and Director. Thank you very much for being here and playing that important piece of what goes on with CDL. Senator Chipman, did you have a question?
I was just going to say thank you for that information, Secretary Bellows. Appreciate everything your office does and helping out with constituent issues when they come up.
Thank you.
Thanks again.
Thanks for your time.
So lastly, on our calendar, we have LD 284. And LD 284, as you remember, is last year's bill on inspections. That bill has, as we all know, that issue has been worked on, but we had put that bill on our highway table. So as a result of that, it's in the Senate chamber. And so what I'm going to do on our next session is I'm going to have that recommitted to our committee, so the committee as a whole can deal with any and all, if any and all, changes to the bill and make any decision the committee wants to make. But in order for us to do that, we got to get it back before us. I mean, there are other ways. There's another way to do it, but it's elongated and confusing, and this is the easiest way to get it back to the committee so the committee can make those decisions. Representative Perry, you have a question?
Yeah, just real quick. Was that the vehicle that we were going to use for any changes from the working group or the?
Yes, exactly. And so that's why I want to get it back before you, so everybody can then take a look at the whole package in one, as opposed to bouncing it back before the chamber and the House, Senate and House. Other questions on that in particular? That wraps us up for the day. Sam, I'm sorry, Sam.
We have a couple of housekeeping issues. I think language review from Sam as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, I just said you and I are talking at the same time, and I appreciate you jumping on that. I could have easily not gotten it. So, Sam, would you want to just give us some language?
Sure. I don't want to get in the way of Representative Perry, though, if he's got something to say.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I thought you were there. Yes.
Just
Representative.
real quick, do we have to do anything or can you pull that back from the Senate? Do we need to vote on something or?
Nope, I can take care of it. Just get it
Okay.
back to you and then we're all set.
Okay.
Yep, thanks for that. Now, Sam.
All right. So I'm going to pull it up on my screen so everybody can see. This one's really simple. So this is LD, this is the amendment for LD 1876, an act regarding abandoned motor vehicle storage fees. What we have in front of you is the language for the amendment as printed. And, you know, I sent this to the entire committee and you can review it. It's essentially exactly as you saw it when it was distributed to the committee. We cleaned up a little bit of, you know, the technical things, but it's substantively the exact same amendment you saw in committee. And then moving down, oh, I didn't include it. So we received a fiscal information on this bill, and the information was there is no fiscal impact and therefore no fiscal note. So that's all I have for you on this.
All right, well, questions from the committee? Seeing none, that is the extent of your language.
Correct. Yeah.
Perfect. Representative Danny Martin.
Mr. Chair, before we adjourn, Sam, can you kind of share with the committee what we've got left for workload?
Absolutely, Representative Martin. So when it comes to bills that are currently in committee, you know, after today, we really do not have much of anything. So we have a public hearing next Tuesday on LD 1833. That's the resolve to exempt specialty or recognition registration plates already in the process of being created from the moratorium. And so we'll have the public hearing on Tuesday, and then we'll have a work session on that bill. When 284 comes back to the committee, we'll have to have a work session on that. Although we've already had the public hearing and gone through the process for that last session. We may receive some additional bills. I'm not really sure yet. So we'll just have to wait and see if those trickle in. And then in terms of other work the committee has, we'll have to schedule the quasi-independent agency report reviews for some point. And I believe we also have a presentation from the Secretary of State next Tuesday after the public hearing. So that is everything on my list for the moment. So it's really
Sam,
coming down to it.
Since we're going to be in session on the 10th, we are going to be meeting at 1 o'clock, I understand, on the 11th. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yep. Yeah, we toyed with having it while we were in session. We thought maybe we could, the POs would let us meet, but they were nervous about if they let us meet, then other committees would want to meet. And then before you know it, they're all committees are meeting, and who knows what Holocaust that, what problems that would cause. So anyway, Senator Chipman.
Yeah, I was just going to ask about that. I know there's some talk about meeting on the 11th as opposed to the 10th because of session. So we are in fact meeting next Friday, the 11th.
The 11th at 1 o'clock. Yep.
Great.
Friday, the reason we can do that, Friday's one of our days. It doesn't require any additional administrivia to get us there. So, yep. Yes, any other questions from the committee? Sam, you're all set.
What do we have for next Friday? I mean, what's?
Next Friday, we'll have the work session on LD 1833. We'll have wrap up any other languages. We'll also, that may be it, depending. We're kind of using it as a catch-all, just in case. So
we may be able to do LD 284 if you get it back on during session on Thursday.
Yeah.
As well. And obviously we'll be doing language reviews with the committee. So it may, if we run out of bills to work, it may be that we just have to meet a couple times or one time to go through all the language reviews for amendments. But we'll see how that plays out.
I'm hoping that Representative Perry. I'm hoping that we'll get that done quickly in terms of the recommit. So we'll have that ready to take care of as well. Other questions, comments? Mr. House Chair, are you all set with everything?
We're good. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Sam, and thanks, everybody, for being on time and so attentive. We appreciate it all. So we'll see you all on, we'll see you next week.
Have a good weekend.
The 10th.
Yes. Thanks, everybody. Yeah.
See you later.
Thank you, folks.
So we're not meeting Tuesday?
Yes, we are.
And the 11th.
Next week.
We're meeting Tuesday and Friday.
Okay, well,
next
everybody
week.
was saying, see you Friday.
Yeah, I know.
So-
Tuesday and Friday, I'm gonna send the
Okay.
schedule out in a little bit here, just in case we're not here tomorrow.
So
Thank you.
fix your clock. Will you, Representative Perry?
He says it's too fast. You're muted.
I'm always a few minutes ahead.
That's what you say. See ya.
Bye.